So for future reference, for all of you out there, if you haven't already figured this out, PB Blaster eats latex. It doesn't eat it real fast, but you're going to want to get those gloves off pretty quick. I don't know if you guys can see it, but there is a very faint wisp of smoke coming out of here. And what that is all that metal flour. This cheapo belt sander does have a system built into it for extraction. So the internal fan's actually drawing air in down here, and it's sucking a whole lot of that metal dust down in there. And it accumulates. And that's what's happening. I can actually smell the plastic burning. So I probably should have done this a while back, but that's the shroud on the back side of this thing. I've never had that shroud off, but we're going to see if that will expose the problem. And if it will, we'll just leave it off when we're grinding metal so that we don't create this problem anymore. Alright, let's see if we can get this in the frame here. So all this old sawdust and metal flour, and I can see the burn on the plastic right there. So I think we're just going to leave this puppy off. So I've still got some pitting right there and right there, but this edge is pretty good as far as pitting goes. This edge, pretty good. There's a nick here. So I'm just going to reprofile this, make it straight. That's a little crooked, so we'll straighten these edges out and then get the bevels run across. And this top side I'm not worried about. This has nothing to do with the cutting of it. It's just the back of the blade. So I'm not sweating any of this discoloration. If I get that off of there, all I'll wind up doing is making this blade thinner than I already have. It's slightly thinner because I've gotten rid of 90% of the pitting on the bottom of this. I have this squared now. At this point, I'm just going to be establishing bevels here and here until I get a burr. Alright, so I can feel a little burr all the way across here. So now I'm just going to do this one. And then we'll hone this puppy. Alright guys, so this is an 80 grit pad. These are 120 or 220, I don't recall, but they are definitely finer than this red one. So really all I'm going to do is try to maintain this bevel angle. And just try to get those 80 grit scratches off, which should not take long. So I had to tinker with this a little bit, but it looks like I've come up with a way to sharpen this thing that's going to work okay. We're going to try it anyway. I've got a polishing wheel over here, and then I've got that leather face MDF strop on this side. So what I'm doing is I'm stropping the top of the edge on the hard MDF surface that's loaded up with this green compound. And then once I feel the burr go across, I come over here and I touch the back on the polishing wheel just real quick, enough to knock that burr off. It seems to be working so far. So I'm going to move forward with that plan and see if we can't make this thing usable. Alright, so here's the obligatory proof that it is sharp. So, nice and pretty clean. Now I just got to put this thing together. I've never used one of these before. I've never seen one used before. So I'll get this thing put back together. We'll see if we can't figure out how to use this thing. That part's sharp. I'm trying to remember not to touch that. The way I set this was I put the blade in, I set the plane flat down on this board, put the blade in so that it was touching the board, and tightened these two back screws in the back here. And then ran this screw in until it bowed the blade enough for it to expose the center of it in the middle. Yeah, it'll work with a card scraper too. This is about the hardest thing I have in the shop right here. It's a piece of hard maple. That's what I was hoping for. Well, there you go. Alright, I think it's time to put some paint on this thing.